A veteran of the U.S. Navy, our next guest served as a submariner and diver, taking part in multiple deployments in support of the global war on terrorism. He earned a Bachelor's of Science degree at Florida State University and a Master's of Public Administration at Syracuse University. Please welcome the President and CEO of Student Veterans of America, Jared S. Lyon.
Good afternoon, and thank you so very much for the kind introduction. I'd also like to thank National Commander Oxford for inviting Student Veterans of America to join you once again. And also, it's great to see our National Adjutant, Dan Wheeler. It's great to see you so much. I want to say a special thanks as I start off to a couple of the folks in Washington, D.C. in the office the American Legion maintains. But first, I just want to thank each of you for getting me out of Washington, D.C. for a couple of days. I appreciate it. A big thank you to Shannon, John, and Joe. It's always a pleasure to work alongside you to strengthen and improve the GI Bill and the economic opportunities that are available to veterans and our families. I'm also joined here today by SVA's Vice President of Government Affairs, Lauren Augustine. Lauren is a combat veteran of Iraq, and we're very thankful that she could be here with us. Before we continue, we must acknowledge that we're officially out of Afghanistan. And in another few days, we'll honor those that we lost with the 20th anniversary of the attacks on September 11th. The past few weeks have been incredibly difficult for me to watch personally, and it's impossible during this time not to reflect on my own service and that of our fellow veterans, active duty service members, and also the Guard and Reserve, our military families, our survivors, our caregivers, our allies and supporters, many of whom are sitting right here with us today in this room. If you feel anything like I do, I want you to know that you are not alone. You deserve to be listened to, and we are here to support you. In observance of the 20th anniversary of 9/11, we've partnered with the 9/11 Day of Service organization and others to serve and express volunteerism on the September 11th National Day of Service and Remembrance. Our shared goal is to inspire Americans to perform 20 million good deeds in remembrance and in tribute of the 20th anniversary of 9/11. There are also a tremendous need coming in the weeks ahead to support, welcome, and help resettle the tens of thousands of Afghan allies and refugees who are coming to America. Our more than 1,500 SVA chapters and our awesome chapter leaders have a long story of stepping up to support their communities. This time is no different. We are encouraging those who want to get involved and to help with government agencies and vetted nonprofits that are aiding in the resettlement efforts of our refugees and advocacy efforts to partner with fellow organizations like the American Legion as much as possible to support the resettlement effort. I'd like to share with you that I would not be where I am today without the support of both SVA and the American Legion, and I truly mean that. My great-grandfather served in the Army in World War I, and I named my 19-month-old son after him. Not too bad for a Navy veteran to name his son after an Army veteran, but I guess that's a good one. My grandfather and my wife's grandfather both served proudly in World War II, and my father-in-law served proudly in the Marine Corps in Vietnam. All of them have had interactions and benefited from the American Legion just as I have. Personally, I arrived at Recruit Training Command in Great Lakes to complete Navy basic training on August 5th, 2001, the day after my 19th birthday. I enlisted in a peacetime military, and then I witnessed the events of September 11th on a taped television recording of the day's events while I was in boot camp. We were no longer going to be shining our boots and ironing our uniforms. We would be preparing, as my whole generation would, for war. I deployed in support of the global war on terrorism, and much like most of today's service members, I decided to pursue my education after my time in the service with the GI Bill. I went on to earn an associate's degree my bachelor's degree from a small state school in Tallahassee, Florida called Florida State. Football season's upon us, so go Noles. I hear some folks from Florida back there. And then I went on to get a master's degree from Syracuse University, and I'm proud to stand before you today because I will leave this convention and start the fall semester as a PhD student at Syracuse University. Thank you. I'm going to need those cheers. The next 5 years are going to be hell. But I'm not that dissimilar from those in my generation. When you look at it, for post 9/11 veterans, nearly 3 out of 4 of us end up on a college campus within 7 months after we transition out of the military, making college some of the most common places that you'll find my generation of veterans, and making the GI Bill quite literally the front door to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs and what it means to be a veteran with access to the benefits and the services that veterans are entitled to. Today's student veterans get the benefit of the post 9/11 GI Bill, which is now an opportunity for an education without expiration, thanks to our work together with the American Legion on the Forever GI Bill. Without you, the American Legion, and the support that you provide my generation of veterans, there would be no post 9/11 GI Bill. In fact, in the early days of SVA, it was the American Legion that provided us with our first office space in Washington, D.C., and ushered in the beginning of the then brand new post 9/11 GI Bill back in 2008. The full name of the Forever GI Bill is, of course, the Harry W. Comary Veterans Education Assistance Act of 2017. And it's this name that was selected to honor one of our very own Legionnaires, a gentleman with a rich and storied relationship with both the Legion and the GI Bill, former National Commander Harry W. Comary, who is considered the architect of the original GI Bill in 1944. Together, the Legion, SVA, and others have continued Comary's legacy by continuing to strengthen the GI Bill, most recently by working together to finally close the 90-10 loophole, allowing predatory schools to continue to try to target the hard-earned education benefits of veterans. From this generation and all future generations of veterans, I wanted to say thank you to the American Legion. I'm proud of our achievements, but we're not ready to rest on any laurels. We believe that the GI Bill is the front door to the VA and the first interaction that many newly transitioned veterans will have with the Department of Veterans Affairs. And historically, our work together has been focused squarely on VA's education transition benefits to great success. I'm excited to share with each of you that in focusing on the GI Bill as the front door to the Department of Veterans Affairs, SVA is answering the call for our chapter leaders and student veterans across the globe by expanding our advocacy efforts to speak to the importance of the access of the whole of VA, specifically VA healthcare, for student veterans. As a start, we'll be looking to expand VA's integration for the academic leadership program, better known as the VITAL program, telehealth options for student veterans, and access to VA vet centers, as well as more comprehensive mental health care for ours and every generation of veterans. We're excited for this new chapter in veteran advocacy for student veterans of America, and we hope to continue to partner with the American Legion on these new efforts. The voice of the American Legion is and will remain among the most influential for veterans advocacy in Washington, D.C. We're also looking to build on our great work with the Forever GI Bill. And while this piece of legislation is a culmination of more than 20 individual bills, one component I'd like to focus on is the concerns of science, technology, engineering, and math degrees, as these majors are vital to America's national security. The Edith Norris Rogers STEM Scholarship offers $75 million annually to encourage student veterans to not only pursue but complete their STEM degrees. But sadly, presently, only 24.5% of this was used last year. Veterans have a high propensity to succeed in STEM majors, but many are discouraged by poor academic advisement, and many others will switch to another major before their graduation date due to funding and time issues. This should never happen, and that's why we're joining together with our partners on a critical mission to improve the retention and outcomes for student veterans in high-demand fields such as STEM, while preventing or even in some cases reducing the need for student debt. At SVA, we seek to inspire tomorrow's leaders to achieve their greatest personal potential. The COVID-19 pandemic created several unforeseen roadblocks to that mission, but I'm proud to say in the year and a half since the pandemic began, we've been able to protect education benefits and tuition, as well as monthly housing allowance. We've been able to support our student veterans as they switched to virtual and hybrid learning environments, and continue to deliver on a world-class leadership and training programs so that our chapters at the local level can continue to focus on the fellowship and camaraderie that veterans so strongly desire when they separate from active duty. Like always, we could not have done this work without the support of the American Legion, and in January, we look forward to welcome all of our community back, as well as yours, to our Student Veterans of America's 14th Annual National Conference in Orlando, Florida. If you had the opportunity to attend our national conference before, it shouldn't surprise you that student veterans have some of the highest grade point averages nationwide, as well as higher graduation rates and success rates post-graduation when compared to traditional students who have never served in the military. With the right support, student veterans and military-affiliated students exceed all expectations, and together with the Legion, SVA can continue to bust the myths that veterans are charity cases, that were broken, or perhaps even not smart enough to go to college, let alone succeed after graduation. In fact, the truth is quite the opposite. I personally am a proud member of the American Legion, but I didn't join the American Legion until 3 years ago. A lot of people have asked me, well, why hadn't you joined sooner? My answer is actually pretty simple. Up to that point, no one had asked me to join yet. Therefore, I encourage you to get involved with an SVA chapter that's closest to your Legion posts back home. Welcome my generation into the good work of the American Legion and in your communities, and never be afraid to ask a younger veteran to join the Legion. We want to continue to serve when we take off the cloth of our nation, and the American Legion, in my opinion, is still one of the best places to continue to serve as a veteran. I want to thank you for your support and welcoming us here today to be with you in person. It is pretty amazing to be at something in person, so thanks for pulling it off, American Legion. We pride ourselves on being, at Student Veterans America, an inclusive organization where all veterans, regardless of gender, who you love, or the era of your service, are welcomed with open arms and an equal opportunity to continue to serve. And I wanted to share with you just a quick personal anecdote talking about joining the American Legion. So our Vice President of Government Affairs, Lauren Augustine, was sitting out in the front row, who, by the way, traveled all the way here to be at this American Legion convention, 8 months pregnant with what's going to be a beautiful baby girl. So if we could give it up to Lauren. But more than that, she's an Army veteran who served a combat tour in Iraq and is not yet a member of the American Legion. So just backstage, I know, right? Not acceptable. So just backstage, we were with your executive director of the DC office, and Shinin asked Lauren to serve, so she will not be leaving Phoenix, Arizona without becoming a member of our American Legion. So congratulations and welcome, Lauren. Lauren and I look forward to hearing from the rest of you throughout this convention, hearing from the rest of the speakers, and continuing our long and lasting relationship with one of the best veteran organizations in the United States, our American Legion. Thanks for having us here. Thanks for supporting our nation's student veterans, and I can't wait to talk to some of you throughout the rest of the day. Thank you.